I'm with Armando. And Armando has been the man behind the scenes in almost all the videos that you have seen on the Jerry Heater channel and what you'll see on the Tongues of Fire channel. And not only has he been behind the scenes, but he's, of course, that makes him in a place of observing everything. And you've been out before in times where there wasn't the worship beforehand. And so what is your take on all this? Is there a difference between what's going on now and with the worship first and then the witnessing and evangelism?
Well, what I see is that the Lord is very pleased at what we're doing. You can just feel it in your heart that the Lord is pleased because we're being obedient. We're out there in the street. We're not sitting in our comfortable church, and it's pretty easy to sit in church.
That's right.
But when you're out there, the Lord is very pleased with that because you're running into people that have a need, and being out there with Chris carrying the cross. Some of us are ahead of him, and some of them are behind him, and the people that are in the front, sometimes they get the attention of the neighborhood, like who's that in our front yard going by, and all of a sudden Chris comes by with the big cross, and they're, oh my goodness, what's that? And then so sometimes the people in the back will minister to that family. So they'll come out and come out for prayer and stuff. So it's been good.
You've seen the worship have an effect, and then people are more open and receptive.
It causes something in the air, and I really think God is pleased with that. Though we're out there worshiping, we're praising Him, and we're out there, and you can feel there's a stir in the air.
Yeah.
And when
something's different, huh?
Friday when we went out, we're trying to bless every house that we went by. The Lord blesses people in this home. Take care of these people, because even though they're not directly my neighbor, but they are our neighbors. And so
close by.
Yeah, close by. Yeah.
Well, it's been exciting. You've been behind the camera, but not long ago you went somewhere where you weren't behind the camera.
Yes.
And would you want to tell us about that? Tell your experience from the standpoint of what you've experienced up here with the worship. Is there a connection?
Yes. Well, about a month ago I was in Mexico, and I was out in the plaza in Mexico, and decided to do some street ministry over there. Just, Lord, lead me to the right person. And I look at that guy, and that guy's eating, and I'm like, I don't know. And then also I see this other guy, and the Lord kind of instilled in my heart, that's the one. So I went over there and talked to the guy for a while, and probably for about a half hour. And he was probably excited because I'm an American and wanted to ask me questions. And so towards the end, I go, do you need prayer? And he goes, no, my kids are all doing well. They're working, and so they all got jobs. And I go, well, let's pray anyway. And I said, Lord, Lord, bless his family. Lord, let these children of his be owners of businesses, not just work for a business, but be owners of businesses and be leaders in those businesses. So at that time also, it kind of dawned on me that here I'm doing street ministry over here, and about 1,000 miles away, my church is doing street ministry here by Savior. So I was kind of like in all of that. So that was,
they were praying for you, and you were praying for them, and they had worshipped, and how neat, how neat. So it's had an effect in your life personally.
Yes.
But then you've seen how people are so open. It's just been really amazing to me when I went out, and you of course have filmed all this footage and seen us. Oftentimes, neighbors, you're a little bit, when it comes to spiritual things, people get a little bit embarrassed.
Yes.
Or while there's somebody over there talking to my neighbors, I'm not going to go out in the front yard right now, but they actually come out, and there's other people coming down the street, because we string out, we don't go as a group, we string out down the street, and then they get prayer too. And so you've got footage of us praying for 3 or 4 different people. At different homes, people walking down the street right behind where we're praying with the people in the homes, and they come right to where you're praying and want prayer too. It's just amazing.
Well, the first time I went out, I had a little bit of apprehension, and then I just went, well, I'll just kind of hold on to somebody, and I'll just kind of stand in the back, and then. So basically, when you're out there in street ministry, just team up with somebody, help carry water bottles or equipment or whatever, and just let the Lord help you out on that.
You know something I'd like to say too is in all of this, with all of the people that have gotten saved, you can't see it on camera, but Christine is behind the camera. Chris is sitting across the room. Pastor Ernie is still here. Now Armando, that's been doing it with Full Gospel Businessman and is the camera person, the genius behind all of this. But when we've gone out, we don't spend hours and hours and hours out there. One reason is because it's so hot here in this part of California, in the Central Valley, and it's summertime. And so we've gone out earlier in the mornings. A couple of times it was at 10 o'clock, and then the last couple of times they went at 8:30. But because they invited people, as we go out, we've invited people to come back to the hall here for pizza, and we set a time on that. We have to be back by that time. So it's not like in order to get those 8 or 10 people saved that we were out all day.
Yes.
Or in all the rededications to the Lord, it's only been, what, maybe an hour and a half? Maybe 2 hours at the most by the time we get back, maybe something like that.
The last time I went out, we talked maybe to a few people, and so maybe you didn't feel like you talked to too many people, but then you talked to somebody else that was separated. They talked to about 2 or 3 different people. Then somebody else talked to 2 or 3. And so we actually talked to a lot of
streets.
Yeah.
We kind of, however the Lord leads us in the area we've already worshipped over the evening before, and then the Lord directs us, some like, well, go left and some go right, and pretty soon you see 2 blocks over, you run into each other, and how you doing, and oh gosh, we got to pray for a family over here, it was really neat.
Yeah.
We got to lead somebody to work over here in this street. That's neat.
Yeah. And I've learned that sometimes, you want to do the prayer of salvation and do all that, but sometimes just telling them, let me pray with you, or just even God bless you, that can make a difference with them.
Yeah, and to let them know we're just praying over the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And people have been even just so appreciative of that. Yes. You mean you're praying for our neighborhood? Yes, we felt led to come and pray over your neighborhood.
And I saw that one family, they were just like in awe. Why are they down our little side street? And they're like, nobody ever comes down our side street, but we went there and ministered on that street, so that they were blessed.
Pleases the Lord. Yes, I think you're exactly right. Mm-hmm. God's pleased with that, and He's pleased with it for 2 reasons. One, we have worshipped Him, and He promised to even inhabit those praises, and He loves people. And Jesus said, I didn't come for the 99. He said, I'm going to look for the one that's lost. And He left the 99 and went for the one that's lost. And when your heart's to do the Great Commission, and this whole thing of this worship and God's presence changing the atmosphere, it's like fun to go out. Mm-hmm. I know you've had to be behind the scenes, but you've gotten to see it all that way. And so it's exciting.
Yes.
It's exciting. Thank you, Armando.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. He's a good man. He's behind the scenes. You don't see him on camera that often. He consented to do this today, and I'm thankful, Armando. Bless you.